Star Wars might be incredibly popular even to this day, but it's had a rough history with television. From the early days of animated Star Wars series being cancelled out of the blue like Star Wars The Clone Wars, to shows such as the Book of Boba Fett not going over well with fans and critics alike. But there's actually been a few outliers in this space, showing that Star Wars can interact with the television world in a way that other franchises do so easily. It's been a big few years for Star Wars, as The Mandalorian has been a huge success, and Disney took it in its stride. They decided to bring back fan-favorite series, such as Star Wars The Clone Wars, and even announced new series that would adapt previous ones. This can be seen in a show like Ahsoka, which is going to carry on from the ending of the animated series Star Wars Rebels. Disney is seemingly understanding the market even more and knows exactly what the audience wants. They want quick, fast-paced action that interlinks with the wider Star Wars universe on a deeper level, that allows people to delve into the background and analyze the entire thing. Also, they thought, as one series came out and completely changed the mindset of everybody. Andor is a series set before Rogue One and is designed as a lead up to that film. The lead character, Cassian Andor, has a huge role in Rogue One, and this series is set to build up to his fate. Originally, this series seemed to be just like the others, a bunch of fast-paced action that was interlinked with the wider Star Wars universe. But this series ended up being something special, and something much different that didn't exactly feel like Star Wars.
You came here to kill me, didn't you?
I'll make it easy.
The biggest thing about Andor is that this series has been expertly crafted by wonderful directors and people who really understand television. Each episode is so beautifully shot, it would make a film student absolutely go crazy. I mean, have you seen some of the shots in this series? They look absolutely groundbreaking and are something new for the Star Wars universe.
I need him alive. Don't make me say it again.
Disney is known for having some pretty bland projects, and Star Wars is among them. When we say bland, we mean in terms of film direction and cinematography.
Can they make it to Ganjamun? If they ever make it out of here.
Whilst there are definitely some wonderful shots in Star Wars, it's not really artistic in that sense. Rogue One was one of the only Star Wars films to actually have a sort of identity in terms of directing and cinematography, so it looks like Andor is following on from that. Benjamin Caron, who oversaw 3 episodes of the series, knew exactly what he was doing with this. So why exactly does Andor not feel like a Star Wars project? Well, it's probably because this series is trying to change Star Wars' identity. Speaking with Collider, whilst promoting his new film Sharper, Caron opened up about the cultural impact Andor has had, as well as what made the show feel different and stand out amongst the other Star Wars films. Many people have noted that this project stood out from the other properties set in a galaxy far, far away, so Caron had to clear the air. He said in the interview that he genuinely forgot it was Star Wars. If it didn't have the name attached, he would have just forgotten over and over again. There were no lightsabers, there was no Darth Vader, and there was no one with the Force. This series seemed so disconnected, but also so intertwined with the story of Star Wars that it's actually groundbreaking.
Cassian will find us.
He went into the series to create really well drawn out narratives alongside great characters whom he just wanted to spend time with. As the director and him personally, that's what he responds to in the film, and he guesses that's where it all started with Andor. When they were filming his 3 episodes, he approached it just like anything else he did. He just directed it like normal. It's actually really cool to figure out this insight into the series, as it really just feels like the Star Wars name was just attached to it.
I'm already there.
Yeah, the setting, the names, and some of the character designs are definitely Star Wars, but the themes of the series and the characters feel nothing like it. This isn't to discredit the original films or George Lucas himself, but he wasn't exactly the great character writer when it came to a lot of those in his films.
No, he meant to watch. No, he means watch.
We have so many amazing characters from Star Wars, like Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker, but some of the random characters just didn't get justice. Andor shows that even the little man can be written so perfectly and so well that he carries his own series. Don't like so many of the other Star Wars releases since Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm for $4 billion, Andor was actually met with a lot of critical acclaim. Yeah, a Star Wars project got really good reviews when it originally came out, which was something unheard of for quite a long time.
Play against all the other tables in this room. I play against all the other rooms.
The last 3 Star Wars movies didn't exactly do the greatest in terms of reviews, even though their box office performance was really great. And that critical acclaim was mainly due to its writing, its characters, its overall acting, and of course its beautifully paced structure. The fact that Tony Gilroy actually designed this series from the outset as 2 seasons certainly helped with all the planning. I mean, series get destroyed all the time because they keep getting new seasons even though the writers didn't plan for it. It's awesome that Tony Gilroy knew that this series was going to be 2 from the get-go, so could design and plan everything around to tell the story in the time it was given. However, despite all of the warmth the series has nowadays, this was nowhere to be seen beforehand.
Mix has nothing to do with
But
this.
then who told these primo bastards about Canary?
Rogue One was of course well received by many, but a lot of people argue that its most memorable moments occur in its final 3 minutes when Darth Vader and Leia come on screen. But if you really look into Rogue One, the filmmaking and directing are beautiful throughout, making it one of the best looking Star Wars films.
It's buried, gone for good.
You sure?
Yes.
To the general audience, though, the idea of a spin-off series featuring Cassian Andor didn't raise many excitement levels. So the fact that this series has so much fever on the internet right now and released to both surprising and welcome reviews wasn't anticipated even by Karen himself. That is great, but obviously that happened after we made it, he said. But at the time, it didn't seem like there was a lot of heat on Andor. It felt that it was slightly undercover and that this massive show was being made in Pinewood, but that people had somehow forgotten about it. The quality of the series is seemingly what everybody resonated with, and despite all of the other spin-offs, this one felt the need to try and shoehorn in the Star Wars signposts. Even something like the Book of Boba Fett shoehorned in so many different things that it really didn't need to. Yeah, seeing The Mandalorian was awesome, but the whole Luke Skywalker and Grogu thing really should have been saved for The Mandalorian Season 3. I guess they wanted to get into the action more when that series comes out in 2023. Andor sits the audience down and goes through a truly heartwarming story that will lead up to one of the best Star Wars movies of all time. Rogue One is already so well received, so the fact that Andor just set up even more to make that film better is groundbreaking. We really hope Andor Season 2 is met with the same quality and heartwarming messages from the audience. What do you think about Andor? Let us know in the comments below. We hope you enjoyed today's video.